Welcome to a Merciless Gaming Media Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Today, we are playing our 5th episode of After the Tomb of Annihilation. Playing the role of a Zentalar assassin, Thorandar Valquindus is Jerome. Geth Stronghold, the human barbarian, is played by Hegan. Strokehog Brewbane, the dwarven cleric and druid, is played by Nick. Mr. Bubbinsworth, the Ketsoon Ranger, is played by Casey. Myself, Patrick, will be acting the part of everyone else in the entire world as today's Dungeon Master. Alright, so last where we left our intrepid adventurers, you had made your way out of one of the specific dungeons in Undermountain. You had spoken to Vajra Blackstaff, and she had given you information leading you to the Keeper of Crypts in the city of Waterdeep, a human cleric, a doom guide, a knight of the Eternal Order of Kellenbor by the name of Undath Obones, and asked him for his help in destroying the Crown of Horns. Long story short, with his help, you made your way up Mount Waterdeep to the top where a ceremony was held. And at the climax of that ceremony, while fighting off a almost like elemental darkness closing in on you, it appears through the concordance of Kellenbor, a massive giant hand plunged up through the top of the mountain, grasping the Crown of Horns and disintegrating it, or possibly pulling it down into the depths of Kellenbor's realm. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, that is where we left off.
That's correct.
As the night sky clears up around you, and the fear that's gripping you, or was gripping you, dissipates, the starry night starts to open up, and in the background you can see the moon and the tiers of saloon that trail behind it in the night sky above Waterdeep. It appears I was able to pull upon the power of Kellenbor, and through his divine intervention, we were able to destroy this Crown of Horns. All praise be to Kellenbor.
So, since the crown is destroyed, did the hand crush it into dust, or is there fragments of it, or is it did the hand take it away with it? I mean,
you do not see any fragments left. I mean, you can do even if you do a thorough search. Let's say you do not find any fragment.
Because if I remember correctly, that was part of the reason why it was able to be rebuilt, is because it had fragments, and the fragments were stored for safekeeping, and
you remember correctly.
So I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't fragments or anything lying around that could be collected and reused. The other thing I was kind of wondering about too, I mean, it's just speculation, but now Merkel reforged this phylactery, which, from what we understood, he placed a part of himself in it during the time of troubles, but at the same time, is Nhyris D'Hothek really Nhyris D'Hothek, or is he part god? Did part of Merkel transfer into Nhyris D'Hothek?
I don't know that. I'm just the DM.
Well, that's where my speculation's coming in. Because I'm like thinking about what we're about to go deal with. Because I'm assuming the next step is to go back into Undermountain and fight a lich.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
You
A little bit of static there, but we're okay. We're cleared up.
So you're ready to fight the lich now?
No.
No.
I'm never ready to fight a lich. But if that's what we're going to do, I guess that's what we're going to do. Very dangerous. I mean, I suppose it doesn't matter when we go back into Undermountain because liches aren't like vampires, whether we attack it during the day or at night. And since it's in Undermountain, I don't think the time of day matters, but... Or we can... Not that I'm like trying to be super negative, but we could always get one night of good rest again before we go into the jaws of death. To be honest, I can't remember if I've used my action surge or not today, and I would kind of like to have that available when we fight the lich. Because that burst might help.
If I remember correctly, you did not use your action surge, but don't quote me on that.
Normally I put a tally mark down on my sheet, but I don't see one, so... And since it's been 2 weeks, I can't honestly recall. The old age is kicked in.
I understand.
I bet you do.
Wow!
Wow, he made it all personal and stuff.
That escalated the curry?
Yeah, it did. Not feeling the love.
Well, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to get a night of rest, or do you want to...
I would say a night of rest for like any spell slots or any even just 5 points of health.
Is that what you're down is 5 hit points?
I'm actually completely... I'm solid. But I don't know if anyone else was like... I think someone got hit during that process.
I think Geth did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Geth.
That's where I'm like, I'm definitely missing 2 spell slots. So nothing bad, but...
Yeah, I think we should probably... If we're going to go after him, I think we should be at our... Plus, we don't know what we're going to run into to get to him again. He might have upped his security, so... We definitely, I think, want to be prepared when we go back down there. The other thing, too, I don't know how easy this would be or how hard it would be, but I think when we get back, I want to talk to our Zent contact of all and see if there's any resources available that maybe can equip some of us who don't have access to the divine magic some weapons that might do a little bit of radiant action, because I'm running necrotic, and that's not the kind of weapons you want to be using if you're fighting the liches. Not that I would use necrotic damage on it, but I'm missing out on bonus damage, I guess, so to speak. It's not like I'm expecting to get my hands on a Holy Avenger being an assassin, so...
Understood.
It's too bad I couldn't use that nice rapier that's phylactery in one of the chests.
Nobody said you couldn't.
Well, what happens if I pick it up and it takes control of me?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That isn't a chance I'm willing to risk.
You want to touch it, see what happens?
You know you want to touch it.
I got over that stage a long time ago in my gaming career. I saw what just picking up items to see what they do can the ramifications of doing such things.
You're no fun anymore.
I know. It sucks when you learn your lesson the hard way so many times that you just don't do it anymore.
Okay then. If there's anything else you do not need from me.
Thank you so much, Undath Ownbones, for your help.
You're all welcome. Please feel free to stop by the Church of Kalimvor and make a donation at your earliest convenience.
Just walk away.
No, have a good evening.
I bid you good night.
So careful going
I said
down
good
the
night.
Oh. Not allowed to use my powers for evil.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, so you guys make your way down the side of Mount Waterdeep. Obviously down back into the town of Waterdeep itself, or the city of Splendors. Make your way through the various wards until you get to the dock ward, and subsequently back to your warehouse on the docks. It's been a long day. You walk into the warehouse where you have been given cots amongst the various boxes, and of course the ring of chests full of the 25 remaining phylacteries. You are all, of course, able to get a evening of a long rest. If there's anything that you need to take care of during that time, get your hit points back, spell slots, etc., by all means, go ahead and do that now. What would you like to do now?
Probably head back to Skullport.
Yeah.
Very well. Through a hatch in the floor of the warehouse, you're able to work your way down to the underdocks, where you keep a small rowboat. And the four of you, again, row out of the harbor of Waterdeep, falling along the cliffside, the seaside of Mount Waterdeep, until you find the crevice that works its way in to the lock that leads down to Skullport. After rowing your way through this crevice for a couple of minutes, you make your way to the lock. And there at the lock, you are yet again greeted by one of the lock masters. Hold there. What be ye about? What's your business?
What did we say last time?
Our business is our own.
I said trade last time.
Oh yeah, because they were like, oh, you want to buy some slaves? Because they had the, what was it?
The undead slaves and the normal slaves. Window shopping?
For 50 gold, you can window shop all you want.
Do we have to pay 50 gold last time?
I thought it was like 5 or 7 gold.
It was 50.
It was 50. It was like cheaper to ride a carriage.
Oh, we'll toss him 50 gold.
Upon receiving the gold, a couple of disheveled older gentlemen, they're I won't say their robes are torn, they're just unkept, unclean. Their hair and beard is stringy, straggly, greasy, dirty. Underneath their fingernails is like a garden of dirt. They don't look like they don't wash or keep themselves tidy. Even with all the water that you're sitting around you, it doesn't look like they take any opportunity to use any of it. That all being said, they begin a process of casting a spell, and the water beneath the rowboat begins to lift, almost as if a hand of water itself cradles the boat. It begins to then go over the edge of the lock and slowly lowering you the 100+ feet down in the cavern below. And about halfway, another similar pillared hand of water comes from the lake. The underground lake meets about halfway, where there's like this pass off or handoff, for lack of a better term, where the rowboat is handed off from one water hand to the other, and then you're slowly lowered down into... It's not even really a lake, it's that river that circles around the castle or the fort there in Skullport. You've been here before. Once you're lowered down into that river, you're very easily able to row over to the docks. It is as described before. The place is dark, but there is the occasional magical light or lantern in a window. There are shady, dark individuals walking around. The city itself, or the port itself. Of course, you are immediately greeted by not an overwhelming number, but a small number of shady salesmen asking you if you're looking to buy things like slaves, poison, drugs, hookers. Is there anything that any of you wanted to do in the city of Skullport? Or the port of Skullport? No?
No.
You do know your way through... Thank you. I'm sorry, who's this?
I believe that's Undath.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. You're able to make your way through the port into the various caverns on the far side. A cavern you've been through before. You make your way through until you come upon a gate. A gate cut of stone, but it looks like that of bones and skulls.
I pull out the hand that I still have left over and rip off another finger.
You have issues.
Isn't that the only way to get through the gate?
You're just carrying around a dead hand?
Yeah, I've been carrying around a dead hand this whole time, and it's only missing 2 fingers now.
Okay.
Well, now it's about to miss 3.
All right. You take out the finger and you stick it within the gate, which then becomes activated. This black mirrored pool of viscous liquid magically appears in the gate, creating this almost slow-moving vortex of viscous black goo. What would you like to do?
Well, who's going through it this time?
I guess I'll go through it again.
I need you to roll me a d6 and let me know what the number is.
2.
2. Okay. Alrighty then. Oakley dokley. You see Thrander step through the gate.
Walking behind him.
Okay. As you all step through the gate and you walk to the other side, what you see, other than the description of the dungeon, which we'll get to in just a second, is Thrander laying on the ground, stiff as a board, unmoving. I'm sorry. I take that back. I need you to make a wisdom save. Make it really good.
We know me and wisdom saves.
Not so good.
Yeah. I got a 14.
Yeah, so he is laying on the ground, stiff as a board.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes open, mouth shut. Sure.
Oh, the predicament that you get yourself into.
You can talk.
It's not me.
If it's not the stew that you ate down in Schult, going through the gates.
I can't move.
I see that.
He seems to be in a position where he can't move.
I'll perform remove curse.
Good question. Okay, so you cast the remove curse spell. Unfortunately, it does not appear to have any effect on him. Or, should I be more specific, doesn't have any effect on his situation.
Give him a good slapping on the face. Sometimes that always works.
Stop. Make sure you count how many times you do it, because I'm going to do it back when I get out of this situation.
I'm not doing it that many times.
It doesn't seem to have any effect on his situation. Nope, hasn't changed the situation at all.
That was a little overboard.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work.
Just set up camp for the day.
All right, so you've tried to remove curse. You've tried gently slapping him a couple of times, just a couple. Neither of those appear to have any effect on his situation. What would you like to do?
Would it be medicine?
You could try a medicine roll.
Huh? I'll give it a go. $20?
I mean, he doesn't seem to be ill. He's not wounded. He's not sick. He's not poisoned.
Maybe an Arcana check?
You could try an Arcana check.
I might do terrible. 14?
He seems to be somehow magically restrained.
Yeah, what the heck? I'll guess Dispel Magic.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you are contemplating that you want to cast a Dispel Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Before you do that, are you sure you want to cast Dispel Magic on Therander?
I mean, would I know the reason why I wouldn't?
You could make a Arcane or Insight. In this case, let's do Insight.
Okay.
Low number.
Oh, shit. 26.
Okay, so when you're doing this, you're casting it based off of whether you're choosing a creature, an object, or a magical effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in this case, you're either choosing him as the target or you're choosing a magical effect.
Well, it would be a magical effect because from what you told her,
Yes.
it's magical. So I would choose the effect in which is giving him his paralysis.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're very specific because if you're just if you're not, there are things on his possession that are magical. And with a Dispel Magic, you could dispel their abilities.
Ooh.
If you roll well enough.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
But if you're choosing just the magical effect that's on him, then you should not have any concern with that. You just need to focus on that magical effect.
Yeah.
And dispelling it specifically.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a magical effect.
Yes, you're targeting that specific magical effect.
So 23.
Thrander. It's not like there was ever a heavy weight on your chest or anything, but it was like you felt like you were mummified, and mummified so well that there was nothing on your person, like your arm, your legs. You couldn't even sit up straight.
Gotcha.
As Brewbane casts this spell, and you can all kind of see it. It's like it was like this magical shell that he was encapsulated in slowly starts to disintegrate and float up, almost like dust particles, magical dust particles falling off of or out and away from his body. And Thrander, you can actually start to feel slowly but surely. First it's a finger, and then your hand, and then your whole forearm, until you're able to finally, slowly but surely, move every part of your body, allowing you to sit up and have free movement again.
Cool. Well, that was unpleasant. Thank you.
Oh yeah, seems to be my job to always help you out. Are you able to move?
Yeah, it appears so.
Well, let's go kill us a lich then.
All right.
Hopefully.
You guys go ahead and move through the area. Tell me where you're going, how you're doing it, etc.
So I guess the thing is, last time we were here, there were
UNT abominations located throughout that cavern.
and that's sort of like,
Constructs.
I don't know.
They were not constructs, you son of a bitch.
Dude, that was good. That was fun.
9 minutes in, and you already got me to say son of a bitch.
Well, technically, I mean,
No, not technically. Wrong. They're not constructs. In any way, shape, or... Not even technically. Not in any way, shape, or form.
I don't know. I mean, they were kind of created, right? Like a construct.
No, they were not created like a construct.
They weren't like magically just summoned or anything like that, you know. I don't think those horns they have are.
They were not manufactured in a by some kind of smith.
I'm pretty sure when we went in there, we saw him super gluing them to the top of there.
You would be wrong.
All right.
That's right. Just keep poking that bear.
Not me, man. I was just helping the situation.
Can I cast protection on protection from poison on myself?
Yeah. How long does that last?
An hour.
Yeah, you can absolutely cast that on yourself. Sure.
Okay. Because I know these guys are immune to poison, but I learned that last time walking through here that I was like, oh no, the poison.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing worse than getting poisoned by constructs.
Wow. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it?
No,
You wouldn't be able to go that way.
Oh, that's right.
It's a sheer drop. You would have to go down the stairs there.
Go.
I'm just waiting for him to be like, oh, you run into something. Or is this place just empty and desolate now?
There are a couple of dead UNT bodies laying on the ground through this area. Not I mean, I'm giving you the impression like there's stacks of bodies, but there's about 5, 4?
Looks like the ones we killed from last time.
Yep, it does.
I thought we only killed like 2.
No, I believe there was more than 2, but there is a stink of death and rotting flesh in this area.
I know we ran past some of them because they were fighting the mind control. The unfortunate thing is if he got control of them, we'll probably have to face those ones for sure.
You can go ahead and move through this area and move them down to this area over here.
Cool.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was because there was nothing in these alcoves.
Yeah, most of those alcoves were like personal rooms or barracks, and there's nothing in this main hallway, with the exception of the statue that remains of Nhyris D'Hothek with the crown of horns. You can go ahead and move on down. Not just the next level, but the next 2 levels. Basically, would be this area. The 3rd level, I believe. So, from here, there were obviously the main direction to get to D'Hothek was to the right. There was some kind of library off to the left, and I don't remember if you guys went into the room in the middle.
It was like a mirror on the other side.
That's
that showed
correct.
us stuff.
That is true.
The paper golem.
That was in the little room.
The library.
I don't think he was a paper golem. I think he was more like
An abomination.
son of a... Just keep it. Just keep it. It's coming. It's coming, son. It's coming.
Well, I mean, come on, man. What would you call something created out of paper? That's definitely not normal. That definitely constitutes the title of abomination.
Well, then, in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, there are a whole lot of abominations.
And constructs.
A golem would then be, by definition, a construct. See, you're not getting it right. You're not getting it, son. You're not getting it.
Well, yeah, golems are created, so it's constructed.
Right.
But if it's a flesh golem, isn't that kind of an abomination because it was created out of something that is not natural? Like, you know, it's a fine line.
I don't think natural. I think maybe moral.
It's an
If it came to a flesh golem,
it's an abomination.
It's all relevant. It's all from perspective. So a paper golem is somebody went into a forest and they brutally murdered a bunch of trees and made paper out of it. And that isn't a paper golem just the flesh of trees?
So it's not a construct, and it's an abomination.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
yeah.
This all started because of the joke with the shield guardian, which we all know is a construct.
In which I call an abomination.
So much pain.
They fucking think and heal.
It can regenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abomination.
Awesome. Magical construct.
It's magical abomination.
A troll would be an abomination because it has the ability to regenerate non-magically.
I'll agree with you on that, but I'm still calling that thing abomination.
You can call it an abomination if you want to, but you would still be wrong. Therefore, you have decided to be wrong.
It's not wrong if it keeps on getting and eating at you.
Is it a... So is like abomination the difference... So abomination and construct, is that like the difference between like saying drow and dro?
No. It's not the same.
You know what's messed up? As I've heard them call drits in that game, both.
In Dark Alliance?
They call them drow, and they call them dro.
Uh-huh.
They're feeding into the... What is it called? The split in the community?
The divide?
Yeah, how some people call drow dro,
Yeah.
and some people call dro drow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's madness. Not as maddening as this conversation about constructs and abomination, though. Jesus.
It's all in your mind, lad.
So painful.
I know the difference. I'm just messing.
Hurts my brain.
All right, I've run that one its course.
Thank goodness.
I'll get off the abomination / construct bandwagon thingy.
All right.
For now.
I'll find something else. Don't worry.
Oh, yes. I guess we'll go down where you had us do the keys in the little box.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. Little puzzle.
Still kind of shocked that I got that.
Man.
One moment, please. Okay. You make your way through the room where the puzzle box and the keys were. And you find yourselves in the very last room that you were in the last time you came down into this dungeon. Before you is a door of stone. The air is dank and moldy. The walls are covered in like a light green moss. Everything is damp down here and wet. You know, the last time you were down here, there was some kind of abomination on the other side of the door. Mm-hmm. And it was at this point that you all tucked tail and ran. Somehow, some way, you have dug down and found the courage to work back down here to this very door, where before you'd scurried away.
Pretty sure that's a blatantly inaccurate description of how it went down.
Could be. It's possible. But what would you like to do this time?
Well, I guess we'll just open the door and charge in.
Is that what you want to do?
Sure, why not? It's better than tuck-tailing and running.
You're all bitter about it. I was just kidding. Jeez.
No, too late. It's on.
All right. Fair enough.
I was going to blame it on
sure
Dark
that's what you
Alliance,
wanna
but
do?
okay.
I don't know what else there is to do besides open the door and have some snake thing go, "Get in. You don't belong here."
I'm a snake.
I'm a snake.
If I remember correctly, when we opened the door last time, it was not locked. I don't think there was a lock, but I'll check the door for traps and a lock, I guess.
Okay.
I got a 17.
You do not detect a trap, and the door does not appear to be locked.
I'll turn back to them and whisper, "It's not locked, and there's no trap."
Is that snaky lady on the other side still?
Well, I guess I'll slowly open the door.
As you slowly open the door, you are greeted by almost like a cacophony of hissing. Many snakes. Kind of like when Indiana Jones in
Raiders
of the Lost Ark falls down in that pit and there's just surrounded by snakes. That's the sound that you're greeted with. However, in the room, you only see one creature. And it is as described there on the map, which is this very reptilian bipedal creature that has somewhere around the area of like 12 to 15 very long, thin snake heads, making up not only all the heads, but also its arms. Just a writhing mass of snakes on top of a torso. The Master's been waiting for you.
What, does the master wish to speak?
Yes, the Master wishes to speak with you.
Should we parlay?
Parlay.
Well, I guess I'll walk in and not let my guard down as I'm moving in.
Okay. Casey, would you move him one space towards you? Not the creature. One space towards you. There you go. And then move the party in between him and the next room. You can see a short hallway from this room to the next. Between you and what can only be D'Hothek himself, sitting upon a throne, are two spectral, ethereal creatures hovering in the air. Brewbane, if you would roll, it's kind of arcane, but it falls into like the cleric world. So if you would roll religion. There are two clerical effects going on here between you and D'Hothek. One appears to be a guardian of faith, and the other one a spirit guardian. Both of these are cleric spells. Mm-hmm. One's a 3rd level conjuration, while the other's a 4th level conjuration. Neither requires concentration. One will last 10 minutes, the other will last 8 hours. These appear to have been spells that he has pre-cast prior to you entering the room that you now stand in. And he probably did it in preparation for your entry. They are blocking the path between you where you stand and where he sits. What you see before you is a emulsified, almost shriveled lack of blood flow, lack of liquid, what was at one point probably a pure blood UNT, which means in UNT terms more human than the rest of the UNT race. He has those same horns growing out of his skull. He is leaning heavily in this chair, like aged and old and tired. There's no fiery spark that one normally, well, you've only run into one lich before. So there was definitely... So 2, you've run into 2 liches, this being the 3rd. He doesn't have that fiery spark that liches, the 2 that you've run into before. Though there is an air of evil, intent, but you don't get the same sense of immediate death and danger that you have in the past. So, you have finally come to end my tortured existence. I take it you were successful in finally destroying that cursed item.
The crown was destroyed, yes.
Upon its destruction, I could feel it. I could sense its power dissipating. And with it, my own. I did not wish for this cursed existence. I never asked for it. But now that it is gone, I find myself in a conundrum. Do I sit here and let you end it all? Or do I put up a fight?
Or do you help us reach the being that we're trying to get to? Azarak.
You wish to reach Azarak.
You're not the only one who is cursed.
In a way, I should be thankful. Because when he took the crown, he took the presence, that other being that had infiltrated me, that godling Merkel. I was no longer possessed. He freed me of that possession. Though I still have a taste for eternal life. You may be reaching beyond your means.
We know we're reaching beyond our means, but we have no choice. It's not just your phylactery we ended up with, but 25 others as well.
Then you truly are more cursed than I.
Personally, our goal was never to attack the Liches. Unfortunately, with the curse that is upon us, the Liches are reaching out to kill us to gain their phylacteries back. And the only way they can gain them back is by killing us. Our goal is just to reach Azarak and defeat him once and for all. We did it in the Tomb of Annihilation, and we plan to do it again on his plane of existence, or the plane where he resides currently, I believe the necrotic plane.
I believe he resides in a demiplane that lies very near the edge and border of the negative material plane.
That's what it is. Negative material.
A place where no living being can exist.
Yes, our intention was not to get entangled in this at all. Just like you said, you didn't ask for the curse, nor did we ask for the one we have. I did not wish to spend whatever life I have left wasted chasing down leads on phylacteries and trying to fight off Lich's minions, and then to face the enemy that we've already faced once again. It was definitely not my intent.
What shall you do now? I cannot point you the way, for I do not know it. I have not been there. I know of his existence.
Well, with the phylactery gone, we don't have to worry about you sending minions after us to gain it back, do we?
There is nothing more for me to gain from you, other than maybe your life essence.
You see, that's where we'll have a problem.
Maybe.
I was hoping that, with the circumstances it is, that maybe we would come to some type of accord. Not that I'm used to dealing with Liches in the first place, but I would say this fight was not a fight that I chose. It is one that's somewhat been placed upon me.
Are any of us really on a path of our own choosing? I sometimes think not. This meeting between you and I may have been destined, long before either of us were born to this accursed existence.
Well, I'm not going to be dishonest here, but I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping that you might have something that could help us out moving forward. The idea of destroying phylacteries and the Liches along with the phylacteries is not really... I don't feel it's a solid plan. And in my line of work, I like to have a solid plan. It almost seems like I'm a child running in the dark, screaming, swinging at everything that's in front of me instead of being able to make clear, calculated decisions.
There are others closer to Asarak, and there are not many. He has his own goals, his own aspirations. I mean, think about it. He could, if he wanted to, become a god. But he thinks beyond that. His thought process is far beyond that you and I could fully comprehend. This man, if you could call him such, decided that he wanted to go beyond becoming a god, but to actually create a god. And now, as I understand it, that you have foiled his attempt, he is now trying to take control of all the undead in the known multiverse.
We didn't know that.
As I understand it, that is exactly what he's trying to do on his demiplane as we speak. And I believe, upon taking my crown, the one that cursed me with this existence, he released Merkel. And now uses his help to create this artifact that will take control of all dead things, all undead things in the known multiverse. Tell me a god as powerful as that.
Well, with Merkel back, doesn't that cause problems between him and, was it Kellenvor?
That depends on what Merkel's trying to do, but yes, I would suspect as much.
As I said, it wasn't my intent to come here and destroy you. But I also know that
I feel like you would have a very difficult time with that, even with your friends.
But I also felt that a lich who had a reason to come after us, thus the phylactery.
I did until you destroyed it.
I would be... Let's just say that I'm not a do-gooder. I don't care what you do, whose lives you take, as long as it doesn't affect me or what I'm doing, it's none of my business. I have nothing to gain by destroying you. And if you're willing to let us be, now that the phylactery is gone, and you have no reason to come after us, you have given us some helpful information.
I have no reason to come after you now.
Do you know who these members of the Twilight Cabal are?
I know of them, yes.
You don't happen to be a member of the Cabal, I would assume, because I think if you were, you would probably be attacking us right now, because as far as we understand it, the Cabal actually willingly serve Asarak.
I am not a member of that association.
I'm almost wondering at this point if we'd be better off just trying to destroy the phylacteries than going after the liches themselves. It's not like you can't create another phylactery anyways, plus we got rid of the curse, so in a sense we did you a favor.
Do you think it's possible that I could create another phylactery?
I thought liches could do that.
You, my good man, may have just given me something to live for. Or shall I say, continue my undead existence for the rest of eternity. Yes. Make another phylactery. Myself, one that I have control of. One that is not cursed. And I thought you were useless.
You'd be surprised what I can come up with when I have a chance to analyze situations instead of blindly go through life.
I may let you live. How would you like to serve me? You and your friends.
I'm gonna have to pass on that. We still got a lot of other work to do.
I am gonna pass on that.
It's probably not a good idea with all those other liches still after you. You would all just be bothersome.
Well, with any luck, we'll be able to take Asarak down. It's not something we think we're gonna do tomorrow, but
You're gonna need more than luck.
we've already
Fools.
we've already destroyed his physical form once.
Did you? Or did he let you?
It didn't seem like he let us, but I could see how that could happen.
I seriously doubt that it didn't happen without some determination or will on his part.
Well, thanks for taking away that small little victory from Chol. My guy twitches a little bit. Next time Pat says, "What campaign do you guys want to play?" I'm not going to say this one. Oh. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, I would say we bid him a good day. Good luck on the new phylactery.
Good luck on your adventure to take on Asarak.
I wouldn't call it an adventure, it's more of a suicide mission.
You may be more right than you know.
I mean, there's already been talk about the only way of us being able to get onto this negative energy plane is to become undead ourselves, and I don't relish in that thought. I haven't come across too many undead that are sentient, that are actually really thrilled about being undead. I mean, if you're already there, what choice do you got? But I don't see you prancing down the street all happy. And I mean, the social gatherings, that can't be easy.
No, this existence is not about social gatherings.
Yeah, I figured not. I just don't see the reason in having all that power when you can't enjoy the benefits that you could enjoy if you were still alive.
I did not choose this form of existence. I did not know what I was getting myself into when I took upon the crown.
I see.
I, unlike other liches...
Did you place the crown on your head?
I did.
It was trying to get us to do the same thing.
You are luckier than I.
Holy crap. Dodged that bullet.
You could have became a lich.
Oh, dude. That's right. That one session I was actually sitting there messing around like I was going to put it on, too. That's jacked up. That would have been like in your character sheet. Go ahead and start making another guy. Roll 3d6. Do it again.
Now, chances of you actually becoming a lich upon wearing that crown may have been less than mine, because at the time when I put on it, there was an existence of the undead god Merkel in it. And when you tried to put it on, I believe, if you had put it on, I believe that Merkel is no longer within the crown. But there's only one way we would have known for sure.
Glad we didn't find out.
But on the ground.
Put on the crown. Come on. Be cool.
One of these days I'm going to do it just to see what happens, just to see the look on Pat's face, because he knows it's not my style. I always joke around like I'm going to do it, and then I'm like, nah. One of these days I might actually do it.
Sometimes it pays off. Example being in the Descent into Avernus campaign.
Well, that's different, though. Like, we didn't know for sure that was an evil item.
I know.
Whereas, like, we were pretty sure, like 110% sure that the crown was some type of evil artifact. Hence the reason why it stayed in a box and you didn't actually touch it with your hands. Well, hopefully we don't cross paths with you again. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Maybe upon the completion of me creating another phylactery, we can have another meeting at that time. If I can figure out how it's done.
Well, the good news is if you don't have too many enemies, I don't think you have much to worry about people coming down here and harassing you.
No. Unfortunately, due to some of your other actions, what I find myself in is a need of followers. But that'll only take time.
Well, if you have the resources, I know they sell slaves at Skullport.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Just happy to do my evil deed of the day. Starting to act too much like a good character for a while there. Had to get back into character. Did you like that? As long as it doesn't directly infect me, go ahead and suck the life out of whoever you want. It's kind of sort of how I live my life. In real life. It's not really affecting me or the people I know. Okay. I'll try to have some empathy tomorrow.
Good luck with that.
Well, I say we leave then. Sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Bubbinsworth. But you got to have a conversation with the Lich. How many people get to do that?
Honestly, this was a nice experience. You're right. We didn't just have to fight. We got to talk to one. I took notes. It's interesting. Maybe the next one. Still got, 25 more to go? One of them I'm bound to get to kill.
Or die in the process.
Whoa.
Just saying, it's possible.
Well, hope you got that hyperdrive fixed, Chewie, and this is going to be one short trip.
Okay, so you guys, without conflict and without battle, make your way back out of the dungeon, back through Skullport, and eventually back into the city of Waterdeep.
So,
unless I'm jumping ahead too far.
No, that sounds about right. So, I mean, after the way that went, I'm not saying we need to go to speak to all the liches, but if we can find out how to destroy the phylacteries.
The phylacteries first, and then...
And not even go after the liches at all, because if we don't have the phylacteries, we don't have to worry about them coming after us.
Some of them will still probably try to come after us,
Yeah, like maybe the Twilight Cabal.
And that's where I guess we'll just make our camp and wait till they come for us, sort of thing.
But instead of, I mean, not all of them are going to be that agreeing, I'm assuming. And who knows, some of the phylacteries might almost be impossible or beyond our means of destroying. I mean, we lucked out that Undoth O-Bones had access to Kellenvor's ear to be able to, I mean, it took a god to destroy that phylactery. So, that being the case, that might have been our one get out of free prison jail card. So, I mean, but I think our chances of surviving are a lot easier if we could find out, maybe through research or other means other than like actually going to their well, that's the only thing though. We found out all the information about the phylactery because we came to his lair. So, I mean, there might still be some danger involved, but if we could find out, how to destroy him, it might help instead of actually going after the Lich itself. Personally, I would rather... I mean, if it wasn't for the curse, I would be fine with just giving the phylacteries to their minions and letting them take it. But that's not an option. Because like I said, I mean, I'm not a good character. I'm not gonna try and smite evil in the name of good and get rid of the liches. If the liches aren't affecting my life or the organization that I work for, then I have no reason. It's bad business. You don't draw attention or make enemies where you don't have to. So, I personally have no quarrel with these liches other than the fact that now they're trying to kill us, but I mean, if we can get rid of these phylacteries and then get rid of the curse, and then maybe now that we know exactly what Asarak is doing in the negative material plane with the help of Merkel, we might be able to get some help from other people that, you know, don't want to see something like that come to pass. So, I mean, I don't know. It might be worth it to pay another visit to Undath, because Merkel, kind of, sort of, with what he's doing, might be might be going against what Kellenborg has got going on, and since he took over that profile, he might not take it too kindly what Merkel's doing behind his back. So, and if it was just a part of Merkel, then Merkel might not be at his full strength either, especially since another god has already assumed his portfolio. So he might be at a limited power. Here I'm metagaming, I guess, because as an assassin, I'm talking all this philosophy and all this stuff going on with gods and stuff like that, because that's my area of expertise. I'm just trying to come up with a plan that we can, you know, something that's got a high success rate but a low mortality rate, basically. Trying to figure out a good path for us to take that's going to put us in the least amount of danger. Danger's okay if you choose it, but not when you stumble into it. That's how you die.
What would you like to do next?
I mean, we don't even have to go see Undath if you don't want. We could always send him a missive with the paper birds. And just get word to him. And then just start trying to do some networking and maybe some research. But we also got to figure out we're going to have to figure out another base of operation too. I don't think we can continue to stay in Waterdeep. Because
If I remember correctly, when you spoke to Vajra Blackstaff,
yes,
I think it was her, correct me if I'm wrong, but she had made mention of another potential lich. Well, maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was the Duke or the Baron.
Yeah, it was the Baron in the monastery.
Yes, correct.
And that was one of the options we were thinking about doing, but we weren't.
The Monastery of Vrag'osh.
In the Sunset Mountains.
Correct.
The thing is we were hoping to get information on which ones served the Twilight Cabal, so we weren't going to a place where we knew there probably wasn't going to be any option for dialogue. It was going to be oh, you're against Asarak? Well, we serve him, so there's no room to talk here. You're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of. Just to be clear, even if somebody is a servant of somebody else, that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't room for dialogue. There's always a level of loyalty.
And it depends on how he treats his employees, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's possible that some of them are very loyal. It's also possible some are not so.
But it's better to be a member of the Cabal than not be.
Probably.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, do we want to make preparations to head for the Sunset Mountain?
I would say so. Maybe wait till the Baron shows up, and maybe if he has any information on the Cabal, and then head out.
Since Duval was nice enough to give me a few of those paper birds,
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'll write a letter to Undath explaining to him what's going on with Asarak, what we found out.
Okay.
That Merkel was actually in the crown at one point, and that was verified, and that he escaped, and now he is on the negative material plane working with Asarak to control all undead. When we find out more information, we'll be in touch. We won't be in Waterdeep for much longer, so if he has to contact us, he should do it in the next day or so.
Okay.
And then I will also send a message to Vajra Blackstaff, basically detailing about the same
The same thing.
letting her know that we found out information that Merkel was not destroyed, and that he is currently on the negative plane with Asarak, trying to figure out a way to control all the undead.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
So I figure if we maybe throw out some information here or there. I mean, Vajra already offered assistance to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know, she's not planning on marching side by side with us or anything like that, but she also made it clear that there are book resources that we can possibly investigate if we desired.
Yes.
So,
correct.
I mean, once we get back from the monastery, if we come back, that might be another option. You know, if we find out more leads or anything like that, and we need to look up some books or something.
Correct. I think for the most part, you know, not completely out of control, but she kind of opened the door for you to have access at least to some part of the Blackstaff Tower and the library contained within. Yes.
And I think she was also going to reach out to some people to see what they had to add to our situation, because pretty much like hers, everybody, the Vol, have kind of said, hey, you know, this is what's going on with these guys. They're in some deep shit. You know, they've really opened a Pandora's box. Probably not the Pandora's box, but they've opened up a minor Pandora's box. So, you know, this is what's going on. This is what's at stake. You know, can we help these guys? Is there anything we could tell them? You know, in our case, the Zents are like, yeah, keep them away.
Don't bring the liches to our front door. It was basically their...
And it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, one lich is bad enough, but, you know, at the time, 26, that's 26 liches is too much.
Shoot one too many. Yeah. Yep.
So, just so we know that we, you know, we're getting information out there, and then hopefully, with any luck, you know, we might pick up some extra information, or maybe some assistance someplace where we weren't expecting it, you know? Kind of trying to put feelers out there, trying to get ourselves a little better prepared. You know, out of game, maybe come up with something kind of like what we did with the Storm King, where we found the Dwarven Forge that had giant slaying gear.
Yep.
Maybe find something like that, you know, something that'll help us against liches, like whether it be like magic items that are like protective against necrotic or spell, or maybe weapons, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, with this being D&D, the possibilities are limited, or unlimited, sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, I think we need to start thinking in that broad spectrum, because at first when we started going, I was like, okay, 26, and it just, the gravitation, the gravity of the situation hadn't completely set in. But at this point in the game, I realized the gravity of the situation, and I think for us to survive this, we're going to definitely need to start taking more precautions and better preparing ourselves for what's to come. Because I don't see us just kind of playing regular D&D, moseying through the world, trying to find stuff and not a care in the world until it's right in our face, and then dealing with it. I think it would be better to be, you know, locked on. I mean, you know, we're not low-level characters anymore. We're definitely at a professional level. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are what, 12th, 13th level?
Almost 13th.
Almost, yeah. Fair enough.
So, I would just like to see us, you know, to get squared away. Because, I mean, this threat we're facing, I don't know too many people have had deal something like this, so the trick is to survive and make it to the end.
Fair enough. So you guys make it back to the warehouse. And if I understand correctly, you want to hang out there long enough, one, to send your letters, and two, to wait for Duval Star's song to come back around. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, you do all that.
And I mean, we'll make preparations to leave soon too, like, you know, packing bags, maybe reprovisioning, stuff like that. Because, I mean, I'm not sure where the Sunset Mountains are from where we're at, how long of a journey that's going to be, and If we're going to try to get horses or something.
That is a good question. Give me 1 second to help you with that.
We're going to have to get...
All right, so you write your bird messages and send them off to O-Bones and Vajra Blackstaff. And then you start going through your adventuring gear to make sure that all your supplies and your provisions are there. It isn't until much later in the evening that you hear that little jaunty whistle coming down the dock, only stopping just as the individual who's making this sound stops at the door. Abruptly, the warehouse sliding door slides open, and standing there before you is both DeVille and that orc bodyguard of his. I didn't startle you, did I?
That's impossible.
We could hear your whistling from a mile away.
Good. Then you knew it was me. How are we all doing this fine evening? Still everything to your liking? Everything holding out? Provisions okay? Need any more food to drink?
We're doing fine. We're actually getting ready to leave soon.
Are you? Where would you be heading?
Gonna head to the Sunset Mountains. Follow up on the lead.
You're not going to Darkhold, are you?
Nope.
All right. Very well. Is there anything I should send in a message to let our superiors know what's going on? Anything that they should be concerned with?
You can let them know that we're going to be at the Monastery of Vrag'osh.
Vrag'osh?
So we're going to be in the area, but our intention is not to go to Darkhold. There's a lich that resides in the monastery that we're going to pay a visit to. Not so much him, but his monastery to see what we can find out. We did manage to destroy the crown.
Excellent.
And so now we're only dealing with 25. We did not go after the lich himself. We actually talked with him.
And you let him live, per se, so to speak?
There was no reason to kill him. The curse was broken between us and him. Now that we did not possess his phylactery, he had no reason to come after us. And I felt it in our best interest to stay alive, and if there's nothing to gain from the fight, then why fight? It's not like he had a mountain of gold and magic items sitting behind his chair.
Fair enough. Quite mercenary of you, but understood.
That is what we are, I believe.
Understood. So this other lich, any details?
Unfortunately, we only know that one resides there. We don't know too much else. We haven't heard anything back from our other contacts. We did find out, though, that this is probably a lot bigger than us, though.
I would guess so.
Well, we found out that that crown that we destroyed at one point during the time of trouble, Merkel had placed a part of himself inside the crown. He was no longer in it when it was destroyed, but we found out where he was thanks to this other lich.
Asarak, was it?
Asarak is the one we're going after. Nhyris D'Hothek was the one we were talking to who gave us the information. He had no loyalty towards Asarak, so...
I see.
He had no problems in having a civilized conversation, so to speak. He told us what Asarak's plans were, and he plans to control all undead all across the world. That is his goal right now. He is trying to gain the control of all undead across all of Torel and the whole world. Possibly other worlds. And he's doing it with the help of whatever's left of Merkel. Merkel has joined him on the negative energy plane, and they are both working to this goal. That is their goal, is take control of all undead. And that's why I say this is bigger than just our curse. So we did have a discussion, and we thought it might be in our best interest, instead of going after the liches themselves, to just break the curse by destroying the phylactery. Because if we do not possess the phylacteries, then the liches have no reason to come after us.
You do know that you might have a bigger bargaining chip than you realize.
What's that?
If Asarak's plan is to control all of the undead, that would include all liches. Would it not?
Yes. So you're saying maybe use that as our advantage? We also know that some of the liches willingly serve him.
I understand that, but it seems to be for those who don't follow him, and maybe even in some cases those who do, you have quite the bargaining chip. As far as your willingness to stop Asarak is also your willingness to stop him from controlling the very people that you're going after.
The thing is,
I don't know if you had already realized that. Maybe I'm pointing out the obvious.
no, we didn't think about that. That's a good point. It would be nice if we knew which liches these phylacteries belong to, that we could send word to them, but that's not really an option at this point. But I suppose if we do run into any of them, it would make a good talking point for our case. Because who's to say once he gains control that they would still have their free will? I'm pretty sure gaining control means no free will, whether you serve or not.
No, you bring up a good point. It's all in how you interpret that. It's possible that it means no free will. And even if it doesn't, it's not how I would lean into it.
Well, that'll be our spin-off then of what's going on. I'm sure somebody like Asarak doesn't update his minions on what he's planning on doing. Although it was nice that Nhyris D'Hothek actually had that information, and he was quite forthcoming with it.
By the way, this Nhyris D'Hothek that you run into and had this cordial conversation with, you wouldn't happen to be able to, I don't know, give me some idea where I could locate him?
Why?
Well, I mean, if he is as amiable as you say he is, and he's somewhere near Skullport, he might be helpful.
Well,
He may come in handy.
as you know, we have agents in Skullport.
Yes, we do.
I'm sure they saw the door we used to get to Nhyris D'Hothek. It requires the finger.
The finger?
Not like that, the finger, but like a severed finger.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
You place it into the gate and it activates the gate. The
see.
problem is, when you walk through the gate, you never know what's going to happen. And it usually only happens to the first person that walks through the gate. So if you're planning on trying to go meet with Nhyris D'Hothek, I would recommend taking a gate person that you could just push through the gate first.
I see. Is that what you did?
Unfortunately, we didn't have that option.
I see.
So we took turns.
Well, you know, you have your own concerns, your own issues to deal with. Mine are trivial in comparison, but it might be helpful to have a lich nearby in a place where a certain organization controls Skullport, and wouldn't it be just a beautiful, nice day to, I don't know, throw them out on their ass?
Yes, well, being as we are allegiance to the same organization, I have no problems with giving you that information. I can even draw you somewhat of a map to get there if you wish.
That would be quite helpful.
Just make sure you put this in the report when you send it back to home base.
Oh, my good friend, of course I will make sure that you get your due credit for this issue, or your help.
It's not so much that, it's just I need the organization to know that once this is done and over with, that I'm hoping to go back to my old contract work. That I'm still a reliable asset to the organization.
Well, with this information that you're providing to me today, you are yet again proving your usefulness.
Sorry about the drink. It's kind of noisy.
Yeah, that's fine. That's right. Hang your head in shame.
I'm thirsty for a gut squisher.
Ugh.
But yes, I also sent word to Vajra Blackstaff, and there was a cleric of Kellenvor we talked to, Umdoth. O-Bones runs the City of the Dead in Waterdeep.
I think I have heard of him.
He actually helped us destroy the crown. He's got his god's ear. We'll put it like that.
Understood.
Don't want to get on his bad side.
Of course not. I see no reason to.
But I figured that both of them, with the assistance that they gave us, and obviously they don't know, well, I don't know if Vajra knows or not. I know that Umdoth has no idea who we work for, but, you know, they were both very forthcoming with the aid that they were able to give us, so I figured the least I could do was keep them in the loop to a certain degree so that they could, if they have anything else that they come across that might help us further our goal. I mean, obviously the end goal is to get to the negative plane, but that's going to be a tough one. But we're hoping once we get to this monastery, we might be able to find out some more information, because I believe that's part of the studying that's going on there, is on the negative material plane.
Understood. Seems like you've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time. I will put in a good word for you in the report. I will send it off and make sure it goes to the proper powers at Darkhold.
If you could also, I understand that the organization cannot get directly involved at this time, but if there's any type of assistance, not monetary, but any type of precautions or items or anything that they could maybe lend to the cause, if they need to be returned, they'll be returned when we're done.
Are there any particular items specific that you're looking for?
Well, we seem to be dealing with a lot of undead, so anything that would help us against undead.
I see. That does seem to make sense. I follow. I will go ahead and put that in the report as well. I can make no promises. Darkhold is a quite large fortress with its own armory. It might have some items contained within that could be useful to you. I will suggest that if there are such items, that they send maybe an envoy to you rather than having you go to the Darkhold. Maybe meet you somewhere where if they do have such items, maybe they can help you.
Sounds good. That's all I can ask.
Understood.
You can't get help if you don't ask.
No, you cannot. Or demand. You can always demand for help.
My rank isn't that high. I'm only rank 3. Should be rank 4, but there's certain criteria I have not met yet.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to do. when you're working for yourself instead of the organization to move up in the ranks.
Yes, very difficult to do.
Well, maybe they'll look kindly on that information with the Lich and Skullport.
I sure do.
Well, if it helps you out, you've definitely helped us. It's a return in kind for the hospitality that we've been given. A place to sleep, plenty of food, and you've also helped us reach out to certain people we probably wouldn't have been able to get in contact with ourselves, so more than happy to help out where I can here.
Well, thank you, and same goes for me. Is there anything else that I can get for you before you head out?
No, I don't think so. Can you guys think of anything we need or...
Would you be able to give them any horses? Maybe a carriage?
Horses and a carriage.
I wouldn't expect there's like convoys or anything that go out to the Sunset Mountains from here, is there?
There would definitely be some.
Outposts?
No, hold on. I'm looking. Traders?
Because I was almost thinking we might be able to sign on as like caravan guards or something like that.
Caravan was the word I was looking for. Yes.
Get paid to go, plus get food and transportation.
Yeah, absolutely. I can look into that. Now, it all depends on how soon you need to go, but there will absolutely be, at some point, a caravan heading from here to the Sunset Mountains in that general direction.
If you could check that out, and if it's not soon enough, we'll
How soon is soon enough?
definitely in the next day or so. We don't want to. I mean, if Asarak and Merkel have too much time to do what they need to do, I mean, I don't know what kind of dent we're going to be in their plans anyways. We still can't even get to the negative material plane, let alone think about surviving on it at this point. So, I mean, but I feel that time is definitely of the essence, so we don't want to wait around too long either. Plus, if the longer we sit here, the more chances of minions of these other liches are to show up and try and kill us to take the phylactery back.
I'll look into it. Chances are slim that a caravan is leaving on such short notice. However, I am sure that we can work something out as far as horses and a pony? No? You full grown horse? Alright.
How about 2 horses? I'll stack up with that one.
So, horse, and you stack up on that horse, is that what you're saying? So 3 horses?
Hey!
Alright. I think we can work that out. I think. I will be here sometime tomorrow and let you know one way or the other.
Sounds good. We'll lay low till then.
Sounds good.
Can I also write a messenger bird to the Baron since I'm supposed to be keeping notes with him and tell him pretty much almost what all that he said, saying that we destroyed the crown, met. That's what I'm like. I'm happy I have everything written down. Met Nhyris D'Hothek and actually ended up talking to him instead of killing him, and found out the information about Azrak and the undead and them trying to take control of all the undead. And
Understood.
let him know that the next place I'm heading to is the Sunset Mountains.
Understood. Yes. Just a point of clarification. The information that Nhyris D'Hothek gave you, as far as not necessarily the Merkel part, but as far as what Asarak's plan was, you already knew that.
I already knew that? Okay.
Whoa.
I did not. I mean,
You did.
okay.
You just forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, you knew that.
Son of a... Bad Bubbinsworth.
You didn't know the Merkle part.
Didn't know the Merkle part?
Correct.
Okay.
But that adds some spice to the recipe there. Having a former god on your side helping you.
You not only did you know that is the very reason why you and your group are involved.
So I haven't told them exactly why I'm involved. I'm just kind of here for funsies and
What the?
to them.
To them, you're here for funsies, yes. But no, your group is seriously concerned as to the ramifications as to what will happen if Asarak is successful.
I'm assuming some people in my group are undead people, and that's why they're concerned. As a... Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
What is your group anyways? Do you guys fight undead? Do you guys control undead? What do you guys do with undead? What is your fascination with undead?
I mean, Mr. Bubbinsworth's fascination is that he's just lived so long that he's just watched so many deaths of people, and then the fact that people have wanted to become undead is just fascinating to him. So he's just decided to join this organization to learn more about the undead instead of watching, well, living people. Because it got boring after a while.
Okay then.
Alrighty then.
That was my Ruben impression. Pretty good, huh?
I don't sound like that.
Excellent.
I'd like to get some of that patio furniture.
Talk to you.
Alright, so again, the rest of the day/evening night goes by uneventfully. And then in the next day, cutting to the quick of it, DeVille Starsong arrives, and he brings with him 3 horses.
That's too bad. I was hoping to earn some coin.
It is unfortunate. It's not that your request was out of bounds. It was just due to the short amount of time. Unfortunately, there's not a caravan heading in that direction every day.
I understand. I just know, like I said, I think time is of the essence in this situation. So we don't want to sit on our laurels for too long.
All right. Very strange place to laugh about that, but okay, I'm following. So, I do apologize. I was not able to find a caravan with the specifications that you asked for. I did procure you these 3 horses. There is additional provisions in the saddlebags, not only for the horses but for yourselves, included bedrolls and cooking utensils.
Awesome. All I got right now is a rain catcher, so having a bedroll, nice improvement. I'm burning this rain catcher.
I didn't know you still had a rain catcher.
It's on my character
Oh my
sheet.
goodness gracious. Burning this rain catcher.
I don't know why I still have it, to be honest.
It's funny. So the 4 of you, unless there's something else you'd like to do, say, go, whatever, do you head out of the city of Waterdeep?
Yeah, I think we're ready to head towards the Sunset Mountains.
Okay. For all of you, but more specifically, Thrander, Geth, and Rubain, this is a wonderful change of pace. Out in the countryside, away from not only the jungles of Cholt, but the ocean. It is countryside, it's green grass, groves of trees, occasional farmland here or there. It is then the wilderness of the Sword Coast. Still a dangerous place, but for you, it's a pleasant change of pace. Almost calming, like taking a hike in the mountains. It allows you to finally especially for a dwarf. Though I'm sure a dwarven hall would be the best. This would probably come into a close second. After several days of travel. So you're making your way towards the Sunset Mountains, and it's been several days on the road. Specifically, this is known as the Trailway. And it's not uncommon to run across other, especially on this part of the road, and you're like 3, 4, 5 days out of Waterdeep. You're still going to run into the occasional other traveler. It's not like you're in the middle of desolate nowhere, but it becomes more like that every day. On this day, however, getting into the afternoon, as you're riding down this road, this trail, amongst the trees, the outcropping of rocks, a shadow blazes across the top of you. A large shadow, and it's quick too. We're not talking like the shadow of a little bird flying by. For a moment, it was like an eclipse, but it was a brief moment as it flew overhead.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
It's nothing, a wisp of clouds. I'm just kidding.
I don't believe you.
Up ahead, you can see that there's a bridge that crosses a river.
Mm-hmm.
And due to that, it kind of gives a little bit of an opening through the trees into the sky above, through the canopy, allowing you to see blue sky. And in that area, some, 200 feet ahead of you, in the sky above, this ship, this flying ship, hovers and slows down in this area over here. It looks something like this picture I'm about to show you. I need a moment. Okay, so you've seen the picture. It is unlike any kind of ship you've seen before. And the sails are not like cloth sails. They're almost some other kind of mystical mirage color changing material. Almost like they're hexagons sewn together, hundreds of them. And the sails don't work like the normal way a sail would on a ship. It's not like they're trying to catch the wind per se, but they do seem to have some kind of purpose. What it is beyond your comprehension. The boat also, since it's not a ship for water, it almost has like this compressed, flattened look and feel to it, where the whole of the ship is much more sandwiched down to where the deck is, and much wider. You don't need that really deep hole to help keep you upright in the water like you would with a ship that would sail like on a lake or a sea or an ocean. So its whole dynamic, its whole overall silhouette is much different than what you've seen and would come to expect to see from a ship. That being said, you have no doubt in your mind that what you see before you is some kind of ship. And how it moves through the air is also the understanding of how it does that doesn't come to you immediately. It's not obvious. That being said, in that clearing ahead on the other side of the bridge, a magical portal, not just one but several, open up with these individuals who step out from the portal. These are creatures the likes of which you also have not seen before. They're very, very gaunt, shallowed skin. The very way that they move and walk is alien. And though their skin is shallow and gaunt, you don't get the impression that they're undead. They seem to be quite lively, in fact. They look a little bit like this.
I cast armor on my astral cord.
They look like this. Their skin is almost like a yellowish kind of green color. Their nose are much more flattened down on their face. Their ears are pointy, almost like an elf. But they are quite, though muscular, it's a tight corded muscle rather than a hulking, bulky type muscle. And their hair, though long, seems to stand almost straight up. That all being said, their armor is very intricate, very detailed, made of precious metals and inlaid with gold and silver, all kinds of intricate symbols, gemstones. It's very, very gauche and very over the top. That being said, it does not look like it's just parade armor. Like, it definitely serves a function. You can hear one of them chirping to the others in a language I guarantee you do not understand.
Sky pirates.
This gives you a better idea as to what the group of them look like.
That doesn't make me feel any better. All the years I've been gaming with you, you never pulled one of them out until now.
There was a first time for everything.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I guess I should be glad this ain't 2nd edition.
What would you like to do? They are definitely... So the ship is hovering above where the green and red piece is, roughly. Not specifically, but roughly. And I'd say it's about 150 feet up in the air, hovering. The two on the rock outcropping appear to be in charge. The one in green is barking orders to 4 what appear to be some kind of, I don't know, warrior fighter types. They are all brandishing great swords. Very large, crazy large, silvered great swords. What makes it even more impressive is their ability to wield them. You can tell that in their hands they appear to be quite light. What would you like to do, and how would you like to do it?
Oh, sorry there about Mr. Button-Up. they really surprised me there.
Oh God! Oh gosh! This is not time for this. Could have at least blamed it on the horse.
I guess slowly ride forward, not drawing any weapons.
Okay. Go ahead and move forward, say. You can make it as far as the your side of the bridge.
Basically, what I want to do is move into like speaking
I understand.
range. I think trying to talk at this distance is kind of...
Yeah, I understand.
I want to like slyly kind of keep one hand on at least the bow, maybe not an arrow, but on a bow or on my bow, just being prepared for if things go down.
So you're not drawing the bow, but you're at the same time readying the bow?
Yeah.
Is that my
Yeah, I'm
understanding?
not drawing it, but I'm definitely like...
You know what that sign is, don't you? You should know it's the thief's cat.
That's why I keep going.
No.
Does your character know the thieves can't?
Oh, he's been in his interim for how long?
Oh, 2 years.
Probably learned a few things.
Just a few.
As you approach the bridge, the individual in the back of the group, the one with the green piece, yells out in common. In the name of Laketh, throw down your weapons, surrender your lives and her sword.
Whose sword?
Laketh, the queen of the Gith Yankee.
I think you have the wrong people.
Do not get lippy with me, creature.
Oh, they found out. They found out.
Man, I thought my disguise would be way better.
I know the sword that you speak of, but we do not carry it with us.
It does not matter. Your lives first and then the sword, then. It is only but a matter of time before we track down both, and we've already found you. By her decree, surrender yourselves, or have the might of the Gith Yankee Nation be called down upon your head.
So I won't kibitz, and I won't do this out of game. I don't like this, but I don't see us walking away from this if we fight.
Sounds like kibitzing to me.
That's not kibitzing, that's me looking at my team telling them I don't like this.
You're doing this in character?
Yes.
Okay.
But I understand the whole lich thing. I know a tidbit about the Gith.
Do you?
A tidbit.
Does your character know anything about the Gith?
I know everything, man.
Does your character?
I said a tidbit. I know that those swords, we don't want them hitting us. I don't know, I mean...
Does he?
Do you want me to roll something to see if I do, and then if not, then I'll just... I mean...
You could roll... I don't know. History, maybe? Nature, maybe? Though it's really way outside of both.
Maybe we should have stayed in the library longer and done more research. Ooh, not good. I got a 10 on history.
And your character doesn't know what the heck is standing before him.
Well, if that's the case, then... anybody got a spare character here?
Pat does.
I do have stacks of them.
We will not throw down our weapons nor surrender.
Then it is a fight that you wish to give. Foolish.
I'll get off my horse. I'm not fighting on horseback. I'm no knight.
What you got so for? He seems to have given some kind of order.
No, you think?
This is gonna hurt.
I'm gonna need everybody to roll initiative, please. Thorander/Geth.
12. Roll the 2.
Bubbinsworth.
20.
Brubing.
18.
Okay, give me 1 second here. That is the order. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Pretty nifty.
Okay. So it's going to be them first, followed by Mr. Bubbinsworth, followed by Brubane, followed by Thorander. And when Thorander goes, Geth will go as well. Mm-hmm. For those of you listening and are not here present with us, Hegan is not with us. So Jerome is playing both Thorander and Geth. And to make things easy, you will play both the characters in the initiative at the same time. Sound fair to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really could use the burst damage this round.
I need everybody to roll a dex save. Thorander Geth?
Thorander got a 12 and Geth got an 11.
Bubbinsworth?
26.
Okay.
19.
Alright, so
Well, before you get too crazy, we're going to use the Ring of Evasion, a charge on that,
who's going to use that?
both of us.
You both have rings of evasion.
Yeah.
What does that, remind me, what does that do?
It allows you to spend one charge to,
I think it's automatically save.
On dexterity.
Ring of Evasion, use a charge to succeed on a failed dexterity save.
Nice. How lucky are you?
Lucky. Depending on what it is.
So, the individual in the back, the one who is in red, you can see them very quickly cast a spell. And in the midst of you, this small ball of flame appears. And it immediately, in a very quick, almost mere second, expands, exploding in a ball of flame all around you. On that note, for those of you who all made your save or had a ring of evasion, you dive out of the AoE of area of effect of this ball of flame. However, I believe you still take half damage from the fire itself.
Actually, I don't take any.
You're resistant to fire and poison?
I'm immune to poison and I'm resistant to fire, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so you would have taken 26 points of damage. For half, you're going to take 13, but if you're resistant to that, you're going to take 0. So I believe that is everybody's going to take 13, with the exception of Brubane, who takes 0. The Githyanki on the other side of the bridge get into a fighting stance. Casey, can you put them right up to the edge of the bridge? Yes. Back them up one more space, but then put those two side by side. They appear to be holding their action. That will end their turn. It is now going to be Bubbinsworth, followed by Brubane.
I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
This is with your bow?
This is, so I cast it on myself, and it's a bonus action. So as my other action, as long as I make a hit, then they will have to do, whoever I hit has to do a strength saving roll. So I'm going to aim for, I guess, this guy in the very front closest to me.
Okay.
26 to hit.
A 26 will hit.
So I need him to make a strength saving against 14.
He makes the save.
Then nothing happens.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
So no, for the actual hit though, because I still hit him, but for the actual normal damage, he's not. Could have been restrained, but it didn't work. So just
Okay.
normal hit damage. Doing 10 points of piercing magical damage,
Okay.
and then second hit, same guy. 18 to hit.
18 will hit. The target is 17.
Doing 8 points of damage.
Understood. The 2 arrows you shoot from your bow, they don't have the magical... describe to me your arrows or your bow. Give me some details about
I would say the bow is like a black oak sort of thing, black wood sort of thing. Same with the arrows, but the arrows are just...
Okay. You do seem to have an impact hitting him. The 2 arrows are lodged into him through his half plate. The magical spell, as you know, didn't go off like you were hoping. You're ensnared.
Yeah, little tendrils try to come up and then...
Yeah, you are unfortunately not able to pull off that spell. Anything else?
No.
Brewbane.
Casey, if you want me to put me right next to you. Brewbane starts chanting.
Okay.
And all of a sudden...
Go ahead.
Okay. Clouds
Yes.
start circling about those 4. And a point that is centered right here.
Yes.
So he's casting Call Lightning.
Okay.
So all 4 of them need to make a dex save.
Okay. As you begin casting this spell, right? The gentleman in the green barks an order. And they begin charging.
Oh. On my turn.
They were holding their action.
To charge?
Yes.
Okay.
When they got an order to. When they get to this point, you see that they blink. Thank you. When they get to this point, it's like they take a step and then it's like almost ethereally, like blink out of existence, popping back into existence. You two, well, even Geth, have seen a very similar maneuver done once before. It was by a very large, feathered Tyrannosaurus Rex. You now find yourselves surrounded by these 4 Geth warriors. And they attack. With advantage.
Oh, was there another one hiding somewhere?
Say what now?
I thought it was just the 4, but now I see one that's behind Geth.
There's 2 behind Geth.
Oh.
There's 2 in front and 2 in the back for a total of 4.
Oh, that's their bases. Never mind. Sorry.
No problem. So the first one is going to swing on Geth. Casey, can you move the other one behind? No, the two in the front are fine. Move that other one behind you. Or, yeah, that's perfect. Alright, so the first one swings on Geth. The Gith swings on Geth. Geth's armor class currently is 18, is that correct?
No, it's 21.
Son of a... Alright, 2 swings with advantage on Geth, and he's not able to hit him. The one in front of Thrander, and Thrander's current armor class is 18 or 19?
19.
Alright. The first swing is a hit, and the second swing is a hit. So from the first hit, you're going to take 9 points of slashing damage. However, as this sword hits you, and it's cutting flesh, but it seems to be cutting into your very existence, almost discorporating you from this plane. And you're going to take an additional... I'm making up words, by the way. You're going to take an additional 7 points of psychic damage. The one in front of Bubbinsworth swings twice. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't roll damage for the first hit. The second hit, Mr. Thrander, I apologize. You're going to take 11 points of slashing damage. And again, you're going to take another 6 points of psychic damage as this thing is hitting you in such a way that you can feel that your body's almost being like knocked out of this prime material plane into another plane of existence.
Okay. On that second attack, since it was higher damage, I'd like to use Uncanny Dodge to have the blade damage. Obviously, I can't have the psychic damage.
Sure, absolutely.
So.
Mr. Bubbinsworth, the first swing is a complete miss. Your armor class is 14, correct?
Correct.
The second swing, however, is a hit. And you're going to take 8 points of slashing damage. You're going to take 9 points of psychic damage. As your very existence and your being is getting attacked, you can feel in your body a part of you that you weren't even aware of before, as it's getting knocked around and your very psyche is being attacked. Behind you, Mr. Bubbinsworth, on the first hit, you're going to take you're going to take 12 points of slashing damage, and you're going to take another 8 points of psychic damage. The second swing also hits you, and you're going to take 10 points of slashing damage and 4 points of psychic damage. So Mr. Bubbinsworth is just getting racked over there. That will actually end the turn. Now, Mr. Brubane, I am sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're fine.
You can't help but think that there was a very specific a level of coordination, the likes of which you have not seen in battle in quite some time, unless it's been on a very large battlefield. These people appear to be highly trained and regulated. It was all but a one-word command, and they all leapt into action and very quickly surrounded your group and began battering your team. quite well and effectively.
Right.
The other thing is with these great swords, their swings, I guess it's almost kind of logical. Their swings are not in this like down and up kind of movement. It is a continual come through, swing around, giving them tremendous momentum. All they have to do in these swings is just change kind of the direction as to where they're hitting. They seem to be quite skilled warriors in their own right.
So now my question is since I was doing a spell,
Your spell is not stopped. They didn't hit you or break your concentration.
well, it doesn't take concentration. It's verbal and somatic.
Yes, you could still cast that spell.
Right. But am I able to cancel it?
Yes.
Or like, so when I saw them charging, just be able to stop and
Yes.
then make my moves?
Yes, you can still make your moves.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know.
Your spell was not counterspelled or wasted. It was kind of interrupted.
Gotcha. Alright. New attack plan. Did you just flip me off, huh?
I would not do that.
I'd do it.
I am not that type of DM.
I'm sure you're not.
I am not.
Totally is.
Lies. All lies.
So on the one that's in front of Mr. Bovensworth, I will cast Heat Metal
Okay.
on his handle.
Yes.
So he is going to take 2d8 fire damage. And if he does not drop the weapon or use any sort of dispel magic or anything like that, he will continue to get damage.
Okay.
Doing 15 points of fire damage.
Okay, I got it.
Cool. And that will end... Well, yeah, that will end my turn.
Okay. Thank you.
What the French?
Thrander and Geth, what would you like to do?
So I got the sword of wounding, the rapier wounding in my main hand.
Yes.
In my offhand, I have a potion.
Okay.
I pull the stopper off the potion,
Yes.
and the black blade comes out of the potion,
Okay. Yes.
and I go to work.
I got you.
Sweet.
I've been waiting to try this out, and
So just to clarify, it's like a dagger handle, and at the butt of that dagger handle is where the potion is, right? So when
Yeah.
you stopper it, whatever is in that bottle becomes kind of blade-esque.
it's a black liquid.
Yes.
So I will be doing necrotic damage.
Understood.
So if I need to not roll damage or separate any type of damage, just so you know, the dagger does do 2d8, which
Yes.
is kind of nice versus the d4.
Yeah, it's a
And
nice dagger.
I think I need to edge in this fight.
I don't know what you're talking about, but beside that, you do not need to separate the damage out for this particular fight.
Okay, so the one in front of me will start off with the rapier.
Okay?
That's going to be a miss, I'm pretty sure. Hit armor class 12.
That is a miss, unfortunately. Your target is 17.
I'm assuming that this potion, I didn't see any like magical bonuses to hit on it, just the damage. So I'm assuming it attacks like a normal dagger.
I believe that is
Like
correct.
no bonuses to hit, basically.
Yeah.
So that is going to hit. The dagger hits armor class 26.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
So the other question I have in this situation, I mean, I'm going for a DM rule on this.
Yes.
The one that I'm fighting technically is got Mr. Bovensworth 5 feet next to it. Is that going to count as the having a friendly next to a foe for the sneak attack, or does that have to be, or do they have to be engaged with that foe? Basically, because usually,
In this case, I don't know the difference.
okay. I'm just the only reason why I was asking is because normally for a rogue to get sneak attack without being stealthed or
Yes.
flanking,
Yes.
is one of their companions has to be within 5 feet of the target they're fighting, and then it allows them to gain their sneak attack damage.
Yes. So if you're talking about the creature in front of Mr. Bubbensworth, it is not only 5 feet in front of Mr. Bubbensworth, it's also 5 feet from you.
Okay. I'm just double checking
Yep.
because I knew they had great swords, and I should have just stood up and looked so I could see
No,
their
no.
exact placement.
You're fine.
I rolled 2 1s on my d8s. Son of a.
Welcome to my world.
16 points of necrotic damage from the dagger. And my final attack with the rapier hits armor class 18.
Hit.
And the rapier is magical. I also choose to do the wounding. So next round he can choose to make a DC 15 con save to end the effect. If not, he'll take an additional D4 necrotic damage from the wound.
Okay.
And it'll stack multiple times until he makes the save. He takes 13 points of damage from the rapier.
Got it.
That will end my turn. At this time, Geth is standing there with his maul, which
Yes.
is +1. And in spirit of Geth,
Got it. Geth goes berserk. Pantera style.
Wovel.
Oh, well.
Hit armor class 20.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's see. For 18 points of damage. He will swing a second time. Oh, that's nice. 27 to hit on that one. For an additional 13. And on his third attack. Armor class 15?
Unfortunately, that will not be good enough.
Gotcha. Alright. That's his. And that is Geth's turn.
Okay. On their turn, the Gith Yankee that was on or is on Bubbensworth on the front, the one that you cast heat metal on his sword.
The one that got shanked.
Right, the one who got shanked. What is he gonna do?
Oh, and it lasts for a minute,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah. It definitely puts him in a precarious situation. He takes an ethereal step back.
Okay.
Which means he doesn't provoke an attack. What a dick.
We're going to hold off on the rest of his turn for just a second.
Okay.
We'll get back to him. The one in front of Thurander is going to swing on you twice.
Okay.
First swing is definitely a miss. Second swing is also going to be a miss. The one that is engaged with Geth, who has been Gallaghered, not completely, but definitely mauled, will take a couple swings on Geth. The first swing does hit. Geth is going to take, it would be 13 points of slashing damage, but it's going to be halved for 6.
Okay.
However, I believe he does not have psychic damage.
No, he doesn't. You don't take half damage on anything that's magical, such as psychic or anything
Right.
like that. So he would take full damage.
He's going to take a full 8 points of psychic damage.
So 14 total. Or, is that right? 8 plus 6 is 14, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it is 14. Mr. Bubbinsworth from behind you, the one that is still there. The other one stepped away, but this one is behind you, still there. Swings on you twice. The first is a hit. And the second one is a hit because your armor class is only 14. Thank you for making this easy. Mr. Bubbinsworth, from the first swing, you're going to take 8 points of slashing damage with an additional 9 points of psychic damage for 17 points. And the second swing, you're also going to get hit. You're going to take 11 points of slashing damage with another 7 points of psychic damage for a total of 18. How you doing there, buddy?
He's not doing so good, but he's alive.
The gentleman in the green, in the far back, barks out another order. And with that, the individual who took a misty step back is engulfed in a black portal, sucking him in and pulling him out of your sight. But in his place, well, there's two portals in this case. In his place, another one appears, but there's another portal behind you. Now, these two that appear, same type of creature. However, rather than the half plate, these two are both wearing full plate. And their great swords, though silvered, have this look of being existent and non-existent. There, yet not there. Very similar to the rapier style sword that you have in one of your chests. And as soon as they step out of the portal, they begin moving in on you. Additionally, too many books.
Did you ever find your Man Mage book?
I did. Oh my goodness, I did. Oh my god, I am so stupid. I really am dumb.
Did you have it in the other room or something?
It was right there.
Huh.
I looked. You can't find it now. It's not there right now.
Did you hit it from
No,
us
it
so
actually.
I don't hide it from you?
It is actually. Is that it right there? Yeah, it's there. So I kept reading through those, and I kept coming across the book that says Waterdeep. Well, I know better now. I wasn't expecting it to. I don't know why in my head it was just the Mad Mage. So I scanned over reading it, Waterdeep, 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 and I kept thinking Dragon Heist, Dragon Heist, Dragon Heist. The Dragon Heist book's over there, and it says Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, where this one says Waterdeep, Mad Mage. I, for whatever reason, I had this mental block in my head about the Waterdeep part. I looked there 5 times.
Don't feel bad, dude. When I was at work looking at closures, we have part numbers, and each of them was labeled for certain doors. I looked for a closure for about 15 minutes, said I couldn't find it, and then went back in there with one of the guys from the super crew, and we found the closure. For some reason, I could not find the number, and I looked at it multiple times, but it wasn't registering. Old age sucks.
It was not a great moment for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was ecstatic. I found the book, like ecstatic, but at the same time, I was kicking myself, just like, holy crap. All right, so the individual at the red over there.
It's like, but sir, won't we hit our own troops? Yes, but we'll hit theirs
Yes,
as well.
we'll hit theirs as well.
Now attack.
The way he says it, though, is just, now attack.
I told Pat that's what it's called in Chivalry 2 when you're taking out your own teammates with the catapult.
The
That's
catapult.
called being a longshanks.
Yeah, that's pretty legit.
Okay. You see the one with the red base very quickly cast a spell. And you see 3, 4, 5 magic missiles come screaming across the territory, all slamming into Brewbane. Like somebody using one of those firework rockets.
Would you cast that at a 5th level?
Maybe.
Jesus.
Maybe. This particular spell is not just magic missile. It's called fuck that guy in particular.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding.
No, I already took it to heart, bud. I see how it's going to go.
I kid. I joke.
Oh,
I
no,
joke.
we're going to play now, Pat.
You're gonna take 15 points of magic missile damage.
Okay.
It's all with love though. Every single point.
Oh, no. I feel the hatred.
There's no hatred.
Oh,
here.
there's hatred.
No.
There's hatred.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Don't kid yourself.
Not kidding. It's all about love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That ends their turn. It is now going to be Bubbinsworth's turn, followed by Brewbane, followed by Thrander.
Mr. Bubbinsworth is going to do some weird finger movements and cast in some vocalization, be like, "Whoa," but it gets all quieter as he does it, and cast silence on the green guy because he's starting to realize that those guys are in control. And so 20-foot radius around them, no sound, no nothing. They can't make any commands.
Understood.
Nice.
Nice.
Well
Mr.
played.
Bubbinsworth also out of semi-fear, where he's like, hopefully no one sees my fear behind my mask, uses his boots of jumping to, even though he might inflict an opportunity of attack, jump into the river to get away from hopefully not dying.
Okay. It does provoke an attack of opportunity. They do hit you.
It's okay.
Does the silence spell require concentration?
Yes. Does that not count if I jump? Because I'm just moving. I'm not using any other spells.
This has nothing to do with the jump. This has to do with you getting hit.
Okay.
You're going to take 7 points of slashing damage, along with another 10 points of psychic damage, and I am going to need you to roll Constitution. Hold that thought. So you need to make a Constitution save. The target number is going to be 10 because half of the damage would be less than 10. The difficulty is the higher of the two.
I rolled a 19 plus 2, so...
You're fine then. You are able to maintain the concentration on your spell. However, you now find yourself in a fastly moving river.
Okay.
So...
You want me to make like acrobatics roll, make sure he's
No,
stepping
it's
on
gonna.
rocks?
It's actually going to be athletics, not
Okay.
acrobatics. But if this is the end of your turn, we can do that at the next turn.
Okay.
Okay. Just see if you're able to swim and not drown and not hit rocks and stuff.
Okay.
So for the rest of the party, all you see is Mr. Bubbinsworth quickly casts something. You're not sure what he cast, and then he leaps, giant like cat leap, into the river, where one of the Gith actually gets a cheap shot off of him as he does that, and he disappears as he splashes into the river.
Where is he going? Does he know he's talking about how he wants to fight everything?
Chicken!
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, Brewbane.
Alright.
Brewbane jumps into the river after you.
Any other one of our characters. Sure. Not this one.
But not Mr. Bubbinsworth. It's true, you jumped through a painting for Dingora.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So upon watching Mr. Bevensworth jump into the river, Brewbane will immediately turn on the one that was behind him.
Yes.
And at that time, too, a flaming fox will appear next to me. So I need that one to make a dex save.
What's the target number?
Un momento, por favor. 16.
He does not make the save.
Does not make it.
That is correct.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Taking 10 points of fire damage. And then if you want, Casey, if you can move me up onto him.
Like here?
Mm-hmm. Then pulling out the Warhammer.
Okay.
And then, of course, with the shield of displacement, mind you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll take my first swing on him. 29 to hit.
29 is definitely going to hit.
Ooh. Excellent. Doing 27 points. 11 of that being radiant.
Make it merciless.
So you could already tell that Brewbane was a bit fearful in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then he let his dwarven anger take over.
Right.
And he starts walking up to this one and immediately jumps to, like, I guess however high a dwarf can really jump, and then just brings that hammer down onto his head, just crushing it.
Like a dwarf dunking.
Exactly. And just letting out this, like, mighty roar as the corpse just falls.
Gotcha. Very nice. Mm-hmm. Casey, if you want to remove that piece. Thank you.
And then that will be the end of my turn, sir.
Yes, Mr. Thrander.
Do it!
Yeah.
Start the one in front of Thrander.
Okay.
Hit armor class 24.
Yep.
For 14 points of damage. And I will cause another wound. If you want, since we forgot last turn, if you want to make the DC 15 con save to see if it ends.
He definitely does not make that con save. Whatever the target number is, I can guarantee you he did not make that con save.
Okay.
That is easy math right there, buddy.
Then he will take an additional 3 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, thank you.
Second attack with the dagger. Hitting armor class 20.
Unnatural 20?
Yes, unnatural.
Very nice, very good.
For 13 points.
Make it merciless.
Oh, sweet. So we'll say he runs him through the gut with the rapier, causing the wound as he's pulling it out with the black energy. Comes around with the dagger, flipping it, and dragging it across the throat, the exposed part of the neck from the armor, because he's wearing the half plate, to open up his throat. And then kind of like flip the dagger back up and just be in his stance.
Okay.
Maybe look over on the hill and be like, "Are you not entertained?" Just kidding.
I mean, even if you did that, I don't know if they could hear you.
I was just joking.
Is that okay? Geth's turn?
Yeah, I guess we'll go. Hitting armor class 23.
Yep. Yep.
Ooh, that's nice. That's 16 plus 3, 19 points of damage.
Make it merciless.
We'll say that he just winds up and just right into the shoulder blade and just crushes him down to the ground with it. And then he just looks at the body and goes...
Okay.
I guess we'll hold our turn or end our turns there.
Okay. Sounds good. The two individuals, the green stand and the red stand, will back off that hill. Now that's a topography, so when they back off, they actually disappear from sight. Okay. These two, if you would move one up towards Geth and the other one up towards, I don't know, Brubane. Thank you very much for your help. Very similar in their attack method. They move up very rapidly, kind of like in a charge. With these broad, and these are massive great swords. Massive. Almost non-corporeal. Like they're there and they exist and yet they don't. The first one swings on Geth. Or not Geth, I'm sorry. Brubane.
Disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Misses. Misses. The other one swings. Make sure I get this right. He swings twice on Geth.
The Chewanga comes out and parries it with the flower.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Aww.
What does the Chewanga do? Please tell me that he does something.
Honestly, I don't even know what it can do. There isn't really much it can do that could help in this situation.
Okay. Does he have any inspiration?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. This really sucks because he's not even really here. However, as this creature swings the sword through the air, it doesn't even seem to touch Geth. It almost seems to go over the top of his head. And what you see happens next shocks everybody. It's like cutting the strings from a puppet, and the puppet falls to the ground. And that's what happens to Geth. He crumbles, lifeless, to the ground. And he then moves in, stepping over the limp carcass of Geth, and takes a swing on Thrander. And misses. Thus ending their turn. Mr. Bubbensworth.
I'm going to try to get out of the river on the other side.
I'm going to need you to make an athletics roll.
Okay. 22.
A 22 is sufficient. You are able to, as you're moving down the river with the course of the water, you're able to swim your way over to one of the banks. There you go.
I say with like dragging this, it probably takes me that way.
Yes.
And then shoot the one in front of Brubane.
Okay. I'm gonna hold on just a second. Alright. Mr. Bubbensworth.
So as I come out of the river on the other side of the bridge, attack the one in front of Brubane. 27 to hit for the first hit.
But that's definitely going to be a hit.
Doing 8 points of piercing damage. And then 23 for the second hit.
How much? You said 8 points?
Yes, 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I got it.
And then the second hit, doing 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay, I got it. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Brewbane.
On the one that's, well, your little wooden pawn there.
Yes.
Who I'm going after.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Okay.
We'll take a swing on.
Critical.
Aw, shucky ducky.
Aw, shucky ducky.
Let me get. Doing 20 points of damage.
Okay.
And then he's going to activate his War Priest and swing once more.
Is it still, you still in that dwarven, not necessarily a battle ranger.
He's just very angry.
Yes. As you watch one of your good friends get dropped, like a
Oh, that
sack
makes
of,
it even worse.
like a sack of potatoes.
You could see veins popping out of this man's head.
Geth, no! No.
I mean, how many times have I saved this man's life?
Geth's life?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, many.
Quite a few.
Quite a
and
few.
I've reattached arms.
Yeah, he has had his arms cut off a couple of times.
29 to hit.
It barely hits.
Barely.
Barely.
15 points of damage.
Okay. This individual, between the attack from Bubbensworth and yourself, is, you've dealt out between the two of you a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
More damage than you have on the previous Geth individuals that were in Halfplate. This one seems to be either his plate is absorbing some of, he's taking damage, he's getting battered, he's hurt, but he seems to be able to take more of a punch than the other individual.
Okay.
And his friend who dropped Geth probably falls into the same category. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, sir.
Thrander?
I think he's dead. If a creature's astral cord is cut, they suffer from a disease called true death. It's one of the only things that's...
Are you looking under 5th edition rules?
Yeah.
Hold on. Alright, Thrander, what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I'm going to turn... Well, I don't know. I suppose when he attacked me, I would be turned to face him.
Yes. So, yeah, you can...
I'll just set him right here.
This creature is basically standing over the corpse of your good friend Geth without any kind of emotive effect on him, as if he were a pebble, a rock, a stump. He steps over him like he's almost not there, only in the regards that he doesn't want to trip over this very minor barrier between him and you. As he sees the distraught look in your face, a wicked grin slowly grows across his.
Alright, we're going to start with the rapier. Hitting armor class 28.
Barely.
For 10 points of damage, and he's wounded. He won't have to make the save till his next turn. second attack with the dagger. Hitting armor class 18.
An 18 is the target number for these two. Not 17, but 18.
He takes 16. Third attack with the rapier. 27.
Okay.
For 14 more points of damage. And then I will action surge.
Going full out, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna wipe that smile off his face. 23 to hit.
That would be a hit.
For 10 points, and then the follow up with the dagger. Hit armor class 26. For an additional 10 points of damage. And that is my turn.
Your anger must be a lot, but yes, you are a trained assassin. You keep it tamped down, but you deal out an incredible 60 points damage that round. Severely damaging this creature, but like you, even he is skilled in tamping down emotion. He shows no fear. He takes that brutal amount of damage and chokes it down and gets ready to try to end your life. Though the smile is no longer on his face. You were successful in wiping that off.
Oh, that's nice.
Here comes his attack. The first swing misses. The second swing is a hit.
I'll use... is his blade mostly ethereal, so I won't be able to use Uncanny Dodge to half the blade damage?
I see no reason why you could not do an uncanny dodge.
Okay. I just wasn't sure because of the form of this blade, if it was mostly psychic, so it wasn't going to be dodgeable, basically.
I'm going to deal out the slashing dodgeable damage first.
Okay.
And then I will separate the psychic damage.
Gotcha.
So first, it's going to be 9 points of slashing damage. You can half that down to 4.
Okay.
The psychic damage, however, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You take 7 points of psychic damage. The other one swings twice on you, Brubane.
Disadvantage.
At disadvantage. The first swing is a miss, and the second swing is a miss. Horrible rolls. Horrible. Even the good roll was bad. For those of you who are... And it would not be Thrander. Actually, the only person who could really kind of see it would be Brubane, because you're the only one facing that direction. But those individuals who moved off of that mound must have moved back far enough to get out of whatever spell she cast. Mm-hmm. And you see 2 individuals kind of weirdly, like it's like they're beamed up back to the ship above.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, Scotty.
That's what it is. Nick's got it.
Nick's got it.
He's cool. He's hip.
Huh?
Mr. Bubbinsworth. What you gonna do, buddy?
Again, go for number 7 in front of Brubane. 24 to hit.
Barely.
Doing 9 points of piercing damage. 21 to hit. Doing 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
That is all.
That is all. Mr. Brubane.
Alright. 25 to hit. Doing 13 points of damage. Activate Ward Priest.
Okay.
Another 25 to hit.
You didn't say it right.
No.
Sorry, my bad.
Wrong campaign there.
Wrong
buddy.
campaign, sorry.
Activate War Priest.
22 points of damage.
Make it merciless.
So the first swing, like, I'll crack him right in the knee and bring him down to my level. And then I'll just do what he's been doing, taking the hammer back around and then just right to the side of his head, just knocking him off, or just like knocking him sideways. And he like drags on for like 10 feet.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
And just in doing that, he just screams, and he's just like, Geth!
Nice.
And then he'll turn his direction to the other one, or the remaining one.
The remaining one, yes. Thrander. I'm assuming that's your turn,
That is my turn, sir.
Thrander.
Start off with the rapier. That's going to be a miss. Hit armor class 16.
That would be a miss.
Dagger. Ugh. Armor class 12. Final attack is armor class 22.
That would be a hit.
For 10 points of damage. And a wound.
Do I need to make a save for that?
Now that it's his turn, yeah, he can make it's DC 15 Constitution.
He does not make that save.
Ew, that's nice. I think I only hit him 2 rounds, so it'll only be 2d4. But he takes an additional 7 points of necrotic damage.
How much?
7.
Oh, okay. Okay. From the wound that you just gave him, he's still holding this massive great sword, but he's doing it one-handed. He's covering up the wound with his other hand. And he gives you another sneer. And he says, in very broken common, you can tell this is somebody who doesn't speak it very often at all. You will die here. Try running. And then he sidesteps as this portal opens next to him, and he slides into it, closing behind him, disappearing. And you can hear from the ship above you that annoying barking order, and you can hear this, and all of you start looking up into the sky, and you can see it's almost like meteors, flaming balls of meteors being shot out of the ship down in your direction. What would you like to do?
Take cover under the trees, grab Geth's body, and...
Yeah, I grab his body and start dragging him. Even if it's by the beard.
The three of you grabbing Geth start running out of this area, and it's like a bombardment. And it's not like they're shooting, asteroids or anything, but they're, flaming balls about like the size of a basketball. But coming from that ship and the way they're being launched, you can it's explosions are happening around you. Trees are getting torn apart. Flaming bits of debris and tree branches. Birds burst into flame as they try to fly away. Squirrels are scurrying away and they get blasted. And you're all just running like in a Michael Bay movie away from the explosions.
I'll cast Pass Without Trace as we're all kind of running, just to give us an extra stealthiness to hopefully escape.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's going to help. Like, if the moment we go underneath a tree or something, they lose sight of us for a second, and then boom, extra something to our extra +10 to our stealth.
Sure. As you're running, though, you don't get the impression that there's so much like somebody up there shooting a gun in your general direction. It is an area of effect.
No.
Right?
Okay.
Does that make more sense? Does that help? Mm-hmm. And you guys are basically running out of that area. And as you keep moving, the ship, though it kind of seems to follow for a while, bombarding the area around you, it eventually slows and turns back towards the bridge. And as you are now quite some distance away, and you're all hiding now under a tree, looking off in that distance, you see individuals start porting back around the bridge, grabbing up bodies and weapons and swords and armor, and then porting back.
Those motherfuckers were gonna get pig-pulled too, man. God damn it. I was, dude. I was gonna pig-pull them sons of bitches. I was gonna have fucking top knots of Gith Yankee heads hanging off my fucking saddle. I was gonna get medieval. They fucking crossed the line, man.
You get the impression that this is something that they specifically do to make sure that certain things do not fall into the hands of people that they don't want to have, right? Mm-hmm. And so a concerted effort was made, not so much to kill you there at the end, but to get you out of the area so that they could make movements towards making sure that what was left was gathered up.
It's the medieval CIA, man. They're doing a cover-up.
They are doing a cover, except for the flaming forest around you, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, for all the peasants know, it was a fucking red dragon flying overhead, you know?
Yeah. Half a dozen well and six another to the peasants. Yeah, no, you're right.
Goddamn peasants. But we know the truth.
You do. Dun dun. Mr. Brubane, you have mentioned that you have, I don't know, a card up your sleeve. You've alluded to it a couple of times. Hinted.
Brubane will turn his attention to Geth. Literally just gets on his knees and everything like that, and is just screaming out like, "Morden, Clangeddon, Dumathoin, help me make this man live again!" And then I will cast Revivify.
Okay. Give me a second.
He yet has still much to live for. Oh.
As you cast this spell, and only this affects you, it's like a mountain range grows up around you very quickly. And then those mountains seem to then enclose and encapsulate you, dragging you down into, it's almost like a capsule, dragging you down deeper into the bowels of the earth. Not in a scary way, but to a dwarf, this is a beautiful thing. To anybody else, they would shit themselves. Brr. And you find yourself in some deep, dark, forgotten cavern, carved, not natural, with flying buttresses and pillars supporting, and bouts of flaming lava pouring from the ceiling and down lava tubes and into lava rivers and steel grids, girders. The sound of a thunderous hammering going on in your ears. Again, most people would shit themselves, but a dwarf, this is like counting sheep before they go to sleep.
Oh, it's home.
Mama. Around you are 3 massive stone statues, each a representative of the 3 gods that you called upon. And before you, in both a physical and an ethereal form, lies the body of Geth, And each of these stone statues then drop a massive like the size of this room, massive, the head of it, these hammers clashing down upon Geth. But instead of like smashing him like a watermelon, it's like a hammer on a steel sword. Sparks fly off of both his physical, and they're hammering back and forth between the ethereal and the material. And then he's almost, in a weird way, like folded metal. Like you're creating Damascus, right? Mm-hmm. Until, again, his ethereal, astral form, along with its cord, blends back into his physical, manifested body. And upon that, a hole opens up in that massive cavern with a huge gout of water coming down, splashing across him like a sword being dipped into, more like an oil, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than water.
You can use either or.
Either or, cooling him off. And with that, as this oil splashes everywhere, for a moment you close your eyes to, prevent it from getting inside your own eyes. And when you open up your eyes, you see before you that you're now back in that wooded glen underneath the shade of the tree with your friends, Geth laying on the ground. There's a long pause. Your two friends are staring at you, wondering, has Brubane accomplished anything? What did he do?
I don't think it's working.
And then you hear as Geth starts to gasp breath and air again, coming back into consciousness.
Dude, real quick.
Yeah, buddy.
Excellent description. That was the coolest resurrection I think I've seen to this day. That was the description. Fantastic, dude.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm almost a little misty-eyed from just imagining the reforging. Very cool.
Thank you.
But I don't think I should roleplay his character coming back from the dead because that's kind of cheesy.
It's your call, buddy.
Well, it's not my character. I don't know. I mean, maybe after he gets done coughing.
Hey, Hegan, while you were gone, we got your character killed by
After he gets done coughing, he sits up and pounds his chest and goes...
Thinking he's still in the fight. I mean, his death was very sudden to him. Like, it was a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So it's quite possible that as he's coming into consciousness that he's not even realizing what happened, because it's that quick to him. To him, the perspective is that quick. The distance from him standing there to him laying on his back and not knowing what happened in between, like that.
Gotcha. He'd probably sit up disoriented then.
Well, I take that back. That's not necessarily true. From a physical body standpoint, that's what happened.
He was probably in whatever plane of existence his soul would go to.
No, actually, I'm making stuff up, but when his astral cord is cut, I wonder if his soul would even be able to travel to its designated... I mean, his soul may have been also dead.
Huh.
Interesting. Something to think about. I'll have to contemplate the many possibilities.
You can throw that at forum so we can say, so what was it like?
He's like, do you remember what it was like to be before you were born?
No.
That's what it was like.
Ridiculous. Good job.
As Geth gets up, he cannot understand why the three of you are standing over him with tears in your eyes.
I sent him a text telling him what happened, and all he said was, okay. Little shit.
There's not much he can really do about it. So I understand his response. I think that would be my response. Like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do about it, buddy.
I'll just tell him to listen to the podcast and he can hear what happened.
There you go. Okay, so after the bombardment, the ship leaves. But you get the impression this is not the last you have seen of the Gith. This is just a temporary reformulating of a more difficult plan for them.
I have a question for you, Brubane.
Go ahead, boy.
I know you're a cleric, and I don't know if you deal in this at all, but do you have the ability to create holy water?
Oh. Oh. Is that actually a skill, though?
Good question.
Look what he did.
Okay, so here's the deal. In the book, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, there is a spell called Ceremony. It is a first level abjuration ritual spell. If you cast that spell, it has a couple of different effects that you can use. For example, atonement. And the real key, the one that you really want to know about, it's called Bless Water. You touch one vial of water and cause it to become holy water.
Nice.
There's also a coming of age and dedication and funeral rite and wedding. That is the spell right there.
That's cool. They finally came out with a spell for it.
Bingo bango. It's really weird because I was thinking that bless would make sense, but where it lost me is when you look under the vocal somatic material components of bless, one of the components of bless is holy water. So, like,
What the?
you need holy water to be able to make holy water? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, thankfully, somebody has given us an out here. Ceremony is the key. And I can see Nick going through his book of spell cards, and I think he just stumbled across Ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have Xanathar's deck?
Yeah.
You little summoner.
That's called dedication.
How about all the monster ones, too?
Yeah, buddy.
What the? You got too much money.
Benefits of not having a girlfriend and, I don't know, just spending money on your hobby is awesome.
Awesome.
It is kind of awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome.
It's kind of awesome.
Well, I just spent $200 on my tools.
If that's what brings you joy.
It doesn't, but I need tools to make money.
I don't know. Whenever I buy tools, it brings me joy. So I'm like, oh, yay, now I can get the crap that I wanted to get done.
Yeah, I just spent my hard-earned money so I can make more money.
So is this... Because I'm pretty sure it's not under my specific class or subclass or anything like that. Is this something that I could research and learn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's one of those optional spells? Because you know how, like, in Xanathar's and Tasha's, it's got the, like, supplement spells that classes can pick up?
That I don't know. It's distinctly possible. But I will tell you this, and I'm only speaking from opinion, not rules, not in the book. To me, if you're a cleric worth your salt, it would make sense to have the knowledge of how to conduct a ceremony, thus being able to do these kinds of things. That's just my humble opinion. It's just, to me, like one of the basic things they would teach you in whatever temple, monastery, clergy you joined, is how to conduct the rituals and ceremonies of your religion.
I mean, it makes sense because if you think about it, that's the stuff that you would, that you would do on a daily basis for the masses, for the
Correct.
people.
Exactly.
It's not anything that's going to have a huge impact on the game, but as far as a role-playing standpoint, going into a town and being able to perform ceremonies and stuff like that, I mean, it's a new aspect that we could start adding to role-playing.
I think that it's something that we could even add to the concordance.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, so you're going through the concordance and you are performing your duties within your temple, your monastery, your clergy for the people. You're doing the wedding ceremonies, you're doing the... because all those things lead to the growth of your flock, for lack of a better term. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just going through the motions of performing a ceremony. You're maintaining and growing your flock by performing those things, which any god, based off of the rules of how gods work within 5th edition, the more followers they have, the more powerful they become. So it behooves them, behooves you. In most cases, there are some exceptions. There's always exceptions. To do that. So to me, this spell should be in some cases even like if there's a militaristic order of paladins, somebody in that order, if they're not a cleric, should have that access to that spell to be able to perform rituals for the other paladins, right? So I don't know. To me, this is just should be automatic. So you deal with that however you want to.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got a way to do it.
Okay.
That makes it seem legit.
Seems legit to me. Cool. Done.
Well, in the meantime, since we're near water, pulls out his water skin and just starts grabbing some from the river.
So you guys make your way back to the bridge.
Mm.
Yeah, so the bridge is gone.
Oh.
Most of the trees are decimated. Whatever is left, there's like smoldering little sticks, flaming sticks here and there. Casey or I should say Mr. Bubbinsworth, we messed this part up. Unless you ran across the bridge while everybody was... Yeah, sure, what the hell. You ran across the bridge during all that bombardment. So you're with the group. So you're all over here on this side of the river. Yeah, that's fine. But that bridge doesn't exist anymore. Well, at least most of it. A lot of it's like that scene in Apocalypse Now, where that hill, or no, like Hamburger Hill, where it's just dirt and flaming stumps. It's like that. They definitely went scorched earth in this particular area. What would you all like to do?
Well, we're gonna have to find a way to get across the river now.
I say I can jump across the other side of the river and attach like a rope or something.
You do have that jump ability, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of the boots.
Yep.
Yeah. Boots of leaping and striding or something like that.
Boots of jump.
There you go. Mr. Bubbinsworth is able to grab a section of rope and magically make this more than Olympic jump across the river.
I would assume our horses are gone.
I mean, you got off the horses way back here, so when the process of running, they probably ran as well. You didn't tie them to anything. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to spend like an hour or so, you can probably track them down.
Which is no problem for me.
Sure.
Druid.
Yeah, he's a druid.
Remind me to talk to you about my idea for a druid.
Oh boy. Here we go again.
This one's awesome. So anyway, yeah, you're more than able to track down the horses. Mr. Bubbinsworth is able to get the rope across. And after a couple of hours of working between finding the horses and pulling them across, you're all able to get across the river. It takes some time. It's not exactly easy, but, with a lot of strain and back work, you're able to get it done.
I'm thinking once we get to the other side of the river, with the strain that the horses get put through going through the river, it probably would be a good idea to take a little bit of a rest and let them...
And Mr. Bubbinsworth looks like a bruised turd. He is severely wounded.
5 hit points left. That's where I was like, I need to jump away, because even if he hits me, I might be able to survive this. Yep.
Oh man. Get the Yankee, man.
Good stuff.
So we're gonna find a place to rest. Are we doing full 8 hours or?
Yeah, we can find a place to rest. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't at this point. That was a pretty rough fight.
Yeah.
You guys are able to find a place and, do the normal. I'm going to make some assumptions, one person or maybe two standing guard while the others, and then switching back and forth between who's guarding and who's sleeping, right?
Usually the best thing for our group, with me being an elf, is one person or whatever will stay up for the first 4 hours, and once I get my meditation in, I just take the rest of the watch, because that's good enough.
Understood.
That way make sure everybody gets their full rest.
Everybody is able to get back all their hit points and all their spell slots.
And also during that time, I'm actually going to pray
Yes?
in hopes that they can teach me, or maybe more like remind me how to do ceremony.
It's almost like a meditative
Yeah.
prayer. You're trying to think back to the long ago time where you were the early days of your missionary work, and you're being taught the very basics of how to serve your temple, your cairn, or whatever, your hall,
My hall.
your dwarven holy hall.
Holy hall.
Holy hall.
My holy hole.
This is my holy hole. Dope. So yes, I mean you remember spots and specs of it, sure.
Okay.
Roll me wisdom.
Righto. Where'd you go? There you are. Good roll. What did you do? 21.
Becomes like a cascade of thought. You remember one thing, which then cascades and leads to another, which then leads to another, and it just all starts to kind of fall back into place, piece by piece, like putting together a puzzle. But each piece makes it easier to know where the next piece goes, and it accelerates to the point where you're like, yeah, I got this, I remember how to do this.
Oh, I can even do weddings. Not for you.
Wow.
1 second he likes me, and the next second I don't know anymore.
That's not this group, and this group, I don't think he likes you at all. The other groups is different. I think Mr. Bubbensworth rubbed Brubane wrong at the beginning. Now he holds a dwarven grudge against ya.
Over the course of the next couple of days, the trail is easy, and you eventually find yourself at the foot of the Sunset Mountains. It's not a barren, desolate place, and you specifically, Thrander, would know this. There's a place where there's still roads to travel and pass throughout these mountains. However, you don't know exactly where this place is within the mountains. You just know it is somewhere here. So you think it's probably best if you maybe find like a small town, some kind of wayside, where you can all sit down and ask the tough question of, where am I going? How do I get there? Unfortunately, though, you're all going to have to wait 2 weeks before you can figure this out.
Oh, bollocks!
Next time.
Next time on What Happened After the Tomb of Annihilation.
This has been a Merciless Gaming Media Dungeons & Dragons podcast production. everyone here at Merciless Gaming Media, Jerome, Keegan, Nick, sometimes Casey, and myself, truly thank you for your patronage. Come check out our Merciless Gaming Media Facebook page for updates on future podcasts, and later this week, I plan to upload a document that we use for faction progression. More specifically, we took the faction progression provided by Wizards of the Coast, amped it up just a notch or two, and have added Mr. Bubbinsworth's faction using the overall document as a template to do so. Come to our Facebook page, check it out, and let us know what you think.